Our brothers and sisters in Jamaica and Cuba who have just experienced a Category 5, very liquid and devastating hurricane. Hurricane Melissa has now entered the waters of the Bahamas, thankfully as a Category 2 hurricane after being lessened by the mountains of Jamaica and Cuba. Let's continue to track her and watch out for our brothers and sisters in Long Island, Exuma, and San Salvador. Now, joining us live to give us the latest on the storm is our chief meteorologist, Basil Dean. Basil, what can you tell us?
Well, Dawn, I can tell you the latest coordinates we had was at 11 o'clock this morning, and at that time, Melissa was some 50 miles to the south-southeast of Rygut Island, 90 miles southwest of Acklands, and 105 miles to the south-southwest of Long Island. Now, Melissa is moving towards the northeast at some 14 miles per hour. The maximum sustained wind have reduced to 100 miles per hour, making it a Category 2 hurricane, and it's now in our waters. The eye has emerged off the coast of Cuba. You can see the eye of circulation is just about here as it approaches Crooked Island and Acklands later on this afternoon. And we anticipate that the core of those winds would reach Crooked Island and Acklands somewhere between 5 and 8 o'clock this evening. Outer rain bands also affecting the islands already. You can see Cuba is just about all in the all clear as far as the rains are concerned. Within the next hour and a half or two, those rains should leave the northern coast of Cuba, and hence only the southeast Bahamas will be experiencing intermittent rains, coupled with some occasional tropical downpours, which could lead to flooding in some of those low-lying areas. Now, in terms of a cumulative amount of rainfall, we're looking at anywhere up to 10 inches of rainfall over the southeast Bahamas in the next 24 to 36 hours. So, Dawn?
We understand that there's been a shift in Melissa's movement, and Long Island will be impacted. What can residents there expect?
Long Island certainly is in the mix. Even as far north as the Exuma mainland, they will experience some showers as well. Long Island, as we said, the center of circulation right now is about 105 miles to the south-southwest of Long Island, 90 miles, pardon me, to the south of Long Island. And they will start, well, they should be experiencing some rain showers as we speak, and that will gradually intensify during the course of the afternoon. And there are some low-lying pockets in Long Island, so flooding could be an issue, particularly in the southern parts of Long Island.
And should we be concerned about the fact that storms are now brewing in the Atlantic a bit later on in the season?
No, this is not unusual. I take you back to 2001. We had a similar hurricane with a similar track. It was named Michelle. And Michelle came during the first week of November, which would be 1 week from today's date. So it's not unusual to have them, but certainly once we have these southwesterly, these storms coming from the southwest, storm surge is always a major concern. And for that, Crooked Island will be the only island where they should be concerned about storm surge. And that's because just to the south of Crooked Island, we have some relatively shallow waters there, and that could cause storm surge up to about 6-8 feet to inundate the west coast of Crooked Island.
And is it true that, speaking of storm surge, is it true that Melissa is expected, I guess the storm surge expected from Melissa would be record-breaking this season or this time around?
Not record-breaking at all. Like I said, we can get up to about 6-8 foot of storm surge on the west coast of Crooked Island. That would be max. The rainfall totals are going to be pretty high as well. We're looking at up to 10 inches of rainfall for the southeastern Bahamas. The Turks and Caicos Islands, our neighbors to the southeast, not much of a problem there. They're looking at anywhere between 1 and 4 inches of rainfall.
Thanks a lot. That was our chief meteorologist, Basil Dean, giving us the latest on Hurricane Melissa. Well, Minister of State with responsibility for the Disaster Risk Management Authority, the Honorable Leon Lundy, providing an update on the progress of Hurricane Melissa and the government's continued response during proceedings in the House of Assembly on Wednesday. He said evacuation operations in the southern Bahamas have been completed with heavy rains, flooding, and extensive power outages reported in parts of Inagua, Acklands, Crooked Island, and Mayaguana, while Hurricane Melissa has been downgraded from a Category 5 to a Category 2 storm. Minister Lundy says evacuations have been completed and is urging residents to remain vigilant.
Preliminary figures, Madam Speaker, indicate that 1,485 residents were evacuated before the suspension of air operations. This was one of the largest and most complex pre-landfall evacuation efforts in recent national history. It required discipline, coordination, and bravery. The Disaster Risk Management Authority, working through the National Disaster Emergency Operations Center and alongside its emergency support function partners, manage these operations with outstanding precision.
The storm is expected to impact islands in the southeastern Bahamas, and residents there are being urged to shelter in place and at a fortified location.
The time for movement has ended. Stay in place, keep communication lines open, and do not venture out until the all clear has been given. To residents of islands further north that remain under hurricane warning, including Long Island, Rum Cay, San Salvador, and portions of central Bahamas, I echo the official guidance, which is to complete all preparations now. Secure your property, shelter in place, or move to a designated shelter if necessary, but please do stay off the roads and once conditions deteriorate.
Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, acknowledging and lauding members of the Royal Bahamas Police and Defense Forces in Parliament today for remaining at their post despite an evacuation order being issued. He noted that their bravery is a testament to their commitment and service to the nation.
They have been deployed, going in as persons have left. They are to be commended, Madam Speaker, and as we are in a recruitment exercise, we seek more brave men and women who are prepared to go in when others leave. I ask, Madam Speaker, that the country keeps them in prayers as well as all residents who remained in the area.
The Prime Minister offering support to Jamaica and Cuba in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. His comments came during proceedings in the House of Assembly today. Here's Fern Carey. Stay close. Tracking Hurricane Melissa will continue right after this.
The DRM Authority 2025 Official Hurricane Shelter List. Eleuthera, Northern District and Harbor Island. Charles Wesley Methodist Church, Lower Bogue. Mission Church of God, Upper Bogue. The Current Community Center, The Current. Haitian Baptist People Church, The Bluff. Zion Methodist Church, Current Island. New Jerusalem Church, Blackwood. Sir George Roberts Public Library, Harbor Island. Lighthouse Church of God, Harbor Island. New Alliance Church of God, Harbor Island. Eleuthera Southern District. Church of God of Prophecy, Topham Bay. Deep Creek Primary School, Deep Creek. Green Castle Primary School, Green Castle. Wims's Bight Primary School, Wims's Bight.
When a hurricane watch or warning is issued, medical emergency services are placed on high alert. For many persons seeking medical care, defining what an emergency is can be difficult to assess given all that is occurring during the storm. The following basic guidelines are designed to help you assess your emergency. If you are experiencing symptoms like shortness of breath, chest pain, severe pain, disorientation, extreme vomiting or diarrhea, vision disturbance or suicidal thoughts, you should seek immediate medical assistance. If you are bleeding significantly or otherwise severely injured, seek emergency assistance immediately. Children presenting with symptoms like high fever and extremely listless or lethargic behavior need to be taken to the emergency room immediately. If you are unsure of the extent of your condition, you are advised to seek medical assistance immediately. Share your symptoms with the on-call doctor and get advice as to whether or not it can wait until normal business hours. Remember, emergency care is not a convenient option for basic medical care during a storm. The Public Hospitals Authority encourages members of the public to use these basic guidelines to help decide on whether something is an emergency or not. The authority reminds the public that in the case of an emergency, always call 919 or head immediately to the emergency room. This message has been brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority.
The Prime Minister offering support to Jamaica and Cuba in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. His comments came during proceedings in the House of Assembly today. Fern Carey reports.
The nation's chief prime minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, acknowledging the destruction caused by monster storm Melissa across the region, especially in the islands of Jamaica and Cuba. He noted that the Bahamas stands in solidarity with Jamaica and Cuba, countries he says supported the Bahamas in the aftermath of 2019's Hurricane Dorian.
The Caribbean is a family, and in moments like these, that truth becomes clear. When one of us hurts, we all feel the pain. To the people of the southeastern Bahamas, we are now enduring the initial impacts. To the people of southeastern Bahamas, who are now enduring the initial impacts from this storm, I want to assure you that your government stands with you. The relevant agencies are mobilized to provide relief and support, and we will continue to monitor the situation closely.
The Cat Island, Rum Key, and San Salvador member told House members that Bahamians are resilient and prepared for any potential impact from Hurricane Melissa.
We are prepared for this moment, and one thing is certain: whatever happens, we will rebuild, recover, and we will rise again. Hurricane Melissa is a stark reminder that climate change is not a distant threat. It is a present and pressing reality.
Prime Minister Davis assured that the Bahamas will continue advocating for climate change on the global stage in order to mitigate the fallout from climate change.
Demanding fair financing and joining with other small island states to insist that the global community acts with urgency, compassion, and fairness. I am confident that we will get results from our advocacy.
The Prime Minister expressed optimism that the Bahamas' voice will be heard near and far to the benefit of all small island developing states. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Thanks a lot, Fern. Well, Hurricane Melissa is predicted to move across the southeastern and central Bahamas today as a strong Category 2 hurricane. Islands including San Salvador are now under a hurricane warning. These islands can expect damaging winds, dangerous storm surges, and possible coastal inundation. Administrator for San Salvador in Rum Key, Francis Hepburn Barr, tells us how the island is preparing for the storm.
Presently in San Salvador, we have periodic downpours of rain, overcast skies. The wind has not picked up as yet, and we're experiencing the same thing in Rum Key. Residents are adhering to the warnings. They have completed preparations for their houses and trying to secure last-minute items at the grocery store. But by about 1 o'clock, everything will be shut down, and we just bunker down until the passing of Hurricane Melissa.
Over on Long Island, we understand that it's raining there, but residents say these things have not yet deteriorated. We talked to Jermaine Adderley on storm preparation efforts.
Conditions are that's light rain outside, been consistent for about an hour. Not much breeze, but I'm down in the north and right out of Stella Maris area. So it's overcast with light rain, but no major breeze or any major rain right now.
With you guys not supposedly being in it, how has preparations been?
Preparations have been going well. A lot of persons have buttoned up, and we're taking the storm very serious. Because of previous storms, especially Joaquin, people have been batting up and making preparations and buying food stuff to get them through the storm.
Most people may not know Long Island. Is this in a low-lying area?
Part of it is low-lying, especially in the southern area, Demons Key, but up north are some low-lying areas as well. But we probably are prone to some flooding, and we'll probably have a little bit of flooding, probably not any major flooding from this one.
So what are your plans now for the rest of the day as you wait this out?
Well, it's just a matter of wait and see for the next 24 hours. Everybody's probably going to stay indoors. Most of the stores have been closed, and persons have made their final preparations, so it's just ride it out as best you could.
188 residents of Meteorological evacuated to Exuma early this morning to avoid the potential wrath of Hurricane Melissa. We spoke to Administrator Christine Palacios.
We have scattered showers currently. We are
prepared as best as we can. We still have some last-minute preparations to do with the shelters. Currently, we're at the airport receiving the last evacuees from Meguana that will be transported onward to Nassau.
Okay, and how is that process going?
It's going fairly well. We just received the last 8 persons. So in total, we have about 32 persons here now. And we just had Superintendent Garth Roll from the Bahamas Baptist Union speak to them and say a word of prayer for them. Everybody is in good health. We're preparing to get something for them to eat and just trying to make them as comfortable as we can until the flight comes from Nassau to take them back.
Is Exuma preparing?
Exuma is preparing. We are prepared. We had a meeting in Little Exuma last evening just to express to the residents, because of their location close to Long Island, they would receive a stronger enforcement than us here on the mainland. So they are prepared. Who decided to leave, they would have made preparations last night and to be out by this morning. We have our shelters ready. We just have to top them, double check with the generators to make sure that they're ready to kick in if need be. We've had our disaster preparedness meetings. All of the government offices have been secured. Our teams are ready. The police, social services, they would have sent additional officers on island to assist with this quartet. We have a fairly good team here in Exuma. We are ready.
Despite official evacuation orders, a number of residents chose to remain on the island of Acklins and hunker down. We caught up with businessman Henry Roll, who's riding out the storm in that southeastern community.
We had rain from last night, light rain, nothing heavy, and it continued into this morning. I look outside this morning, it's still drizzle rain. So the system hold up, because when that go down, we're not going to have any water, and maybe BPL is going to go down. The water supply is powered by BPL, and once BPL go down, the services is going to go down.
And on Meguana, a few residents also decided to stay behind, keeping a close eye on changing conditions as the system moves through there.
At 2 a.m. this morning, a flight of the evacuees was taken into Exuma, and at 3:30, another flight took some evacuees into Exuma, and the last flight will be leaving shortly. That will be going directly into Nassau with the last set of evacuees out of Meguana.
The last of the residents from southern islands, Acklins and Inagua, are in the capital following that decision by the Prime Minister Monday to evacuate ahead of the arrival of Hurricane Melissa. Lloyd Allen returned to Nassau with some of those residents and provided this update on the process.
This is the final flight, from what I understand, coming in from those southern islands. Also here with me is the island administrator from Inagua, Kiwana Gibson. Now, Ms. Gibson, of course, it's been a busy past few days. We spoke yesterday as well about this initiative. Talk to us about the final steps going into this flight today.
Okay, so the final steps were referencing the residents in Inagua. We would have sent out final WhatsApp messages and broadcast messages to the residents, encouraging them that if they wanted to come to the airport, as this flight here would have been the last flight to leave Inagua.
Residents say although it was difficult to leave their homes and belongings behind, they are comforted in knowing their lives are spared from the possible impact of Hurricane Melissa battering their homeland.
It's been a pleasure. We're on our day flight. It was not bumpy as I thought it would have been.
Feels real good to be safe, son. Over 500 Inagua residents evacuated over the course of the past 2 days, along with others from neighboring Acklins. A word of caution also offered to those who decided to ride out the storm, inclusive of around 200 on Acklins and over 400 on Inagua.
Some of them are my family, no doubt, but I just encourage them to be safe and do not take this storm for granted. It's almost unpredictable as we see it.
All I can say, I ask God to be with them, to guide them, and make sure that they are safe.
With the last of law enforcement on those islands and island administration officers evacuated, along with power supply cuts to prevent possible damage from the hurricane, Member of Parliament for Michael, the Honorable Basil McIntosh, is satisfied all was done to protect life.
I'm quite satisfied because the government did all that they could have done and are doing, to be sure that those people are secure and safe.
Now, upon arrival, those residents who have been evacuated, said to be just over 700, are being housed at the New Providence Community Center, Blake Road, with some of the evacuees deciding to remain with family in Nassau as they and the country now wait for Hurricane Melissa to bid farewell. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. Don't go anywhere. We're tracking Hurricane Melissa and more right after this.
The DRM Authority 2025 Official Hurricane Shelter List. Cat Island, St. Mark's Anglican Church, Port Howe, Zion Baptist Church, McQueens, Seaview Seventh-day Adventist Church, Wilson Bay, Holy Redeemer Catholic Church, New Bight, Mount Sinai Native Baptist Church, New Bight, Lovely Zion Baptist Church, The Bluff, St. Andros Anglican Church, Arthurstown, San Salvador and Rum Key, Fellowship in Christ Church, Coburn Town, Cure's Research Center, United Estates Settlement, Idell Jones Community Hall, Coburn Town, St. James Native Baptist Church, North Victoria Hill, St. John's Native Baptist Church, United Estates Settlement, St. Peter's Native Baptist Church, Long Bay, and Rum Key All-Age School, Rum Key.
The Public Hospitals Authority wishes to ensure that you and your family are safe and prepared during the hurricane season. There are a few simple rules to follow that will help you to better manage your health during a storm. Ensure you have a 2-week supply of any medications you are taking. Ensure you have a first aid kit. Ensure you make contact with your healthcare provider to reschedule any appointments or procedures that may have been scheduled ahead of the storm. The public is reminded that ambulance services are only provided to service medical emergencies. The National Emergency Medical Services advises the public that once winds exceed 50 miles per hour, ambulance services are discontinued until the all clear is given.
Here, these for you. These must have got false bottom, because they look empty to me. Not for long. You taking us shopping right now. For what? Things you're gonna need in case you can't get out of your house after a natural disaster. We know when we had one hurricane around here. That's it. We get 2 lakhs. It ain't only hurricane, we getting worried about, we could have tsunami or we could have earthquake. And they don't give you no time to go shopping. What kind of earthquake? Scientists just find one faulty line over there by McGuana. And even though they say it's stationary, it's there. So we need to go and get our survival kit. Like what? What you mean, like what? Plastic bag to put your important papers in, like water, medication, flashlight, radio, canned goods, things you need, things you might need, just in case you can't get out of your house after a natural disaster. These 2 plastic containers, the 2 of them could paint them up in their special colors so they could know what they're looking for when you send them to look for it. That's one thing I like about you. You always ready.
The DRM Authority 2025 Official Hurricane Shelter List. Acklands Community Center, Spring Point. Crooked Island, Church of God of Prophecy, Landrail Point, Richmond, Mosstown, and Cripple Hill residents, Cripple Hill. Landrail Point Community Center, Landrail Point. Inagua, St. Philip's Anglican Community Center, Matthewtown. Meguana, St. James Native Baptist Church, Abrams Bay. Meguana Comprehensive K School, Pirates Well. Betsy Bay Community Center, Betsy Bay. The DRM Authority 2025 Official Hurricane Shelter List. Exuma and Ragged Island. Bethel Union Baptist Church, Ramsey. Ebenezer Union Baptist Church, Farmers Hill. Ebenezer Union Baptist Church, Barry Tarry. Exuma Resource Center, Hopers Bay. Forbes Hill Cultural Center, Forbes Hill. Gethsemane Baptist Church, Black Point. Mount Carmel Mission Baptist Church, Roll Town. Mount Hermon Union Baptist Church, Mount Thompson. St. John's the Baptist Anglican Church, Moss Town. Aurelia Miller Comprehensive School, Black Point. St. Luke's Union Baptist Church, Black Point. The new Mount Olive Union Baptist Church, Hartswell. Mount Olivet Baptist Church, Staniel Key. Palestine Union Baptist Church, The Forest. St. Andrew's Community Center, Georgetown. St. Margaret's Anglican Church, Steventon. St. Magdalene Anglican Church, Williamstown. St. Theresa's Catholic Church, Georgetown. St. Peter's Union Baptist Church, Forbes Hill. St. Margaret Baptist Church, Stuart Manor. Calvary Mission Baptist Church, Rollville. Holy Innocents Anglican Church, Duncantown, Ragged Island. Ragged Island All-Age School, Duncantown, Ragged Island.
Well, as you know, scores of residents headed to the capital for shelter, staying with family and friends and others at various shelters. We talked to the manager at the New Providence Community Center, Uriel Aduli.
Everything started for us on Monday night. The first arrival came in from Inagua, and then we had a large number of groups that came in yesterday from particularly Acklands, and we have places from Ragged Island and all the different southern islands. The shelter capacity, based on the information that was registered with the disaster recovery management, is 350, but we can wait comfortably with about 150 persons. We're very prepared. Something that we've done throughout the year, particularly working on our facility, making sure the showers, or lighting, or plumbing, everything, it's in perfect order. And the most important thing is that it's a part of our church's mandate. It's a part of our core value in opening our facility in situations like these to the less fortunate people who are facing imminent disaster. We are always ready, and my staff is particularly ready. I like to commend the Disaster Recovery Management Agency. They've done an extraordinary job so far in terms of making sure that we have all the supplies and equipment that we need. But also shout out to corporate citizens like Bahama and Breezes, who are assisting us with feeding the individual. And you would know that the fact that they're here, and most of these people, they have an extraordinary amount of anxiety, because, you know, you're sitting here in Nassau in this facility, but you don't know the condition that you're going to meet when you go back home. The most important thing is that as a people, as a nation, and as a group, that we must be prayerful, and that we will continue to do as much as we can to support them. And I give a shout out also to the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Social Services, and like I said, particularly my staff, who've done an extraordinary job in making sure that all of the occupants of this facility are comfortable and make them as comfortable as we can possibly do.
Stay close. Tracking Hurricane Melissa will continue right after this.
In 1953, the United States began using a female name for storms. And by 1978, both male and female names were used to identify northern Pacific storms. This was then adopted in 1979 for storms in the Atlantic Basin. The National Hurricane Center does not control the naming of tropical storms. Instead, there is a strict procedure established by the World's Meteorological Organization for Atlantic hurricanes. There is a list of male and female names which are used on a 6-year rotation. The only time that there is a change is if the storm is so deadly or costly that the future use of its name on a different storm would be inappropriate. These are the names of the storms for the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season: Andrea, Barry, Chantal, Dexter, Aaron, Fernand, Gabrielle, Umberto, Imelda, Jerry, Karen, Lorenzo, Melissa, Nestor, Olga, Pablo, Rebecca, Sebastian, Tanya, Van, Wendy. This public service announcement was brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the Disaster Risk Management Authority.
Category 5 storm becoming one of the most powerful and destructive storms in the island's recorded history. The hurricane caused widespread damage through catastrophic winds, torrential rain, flooding, and landslides. Betty Thompson-Moss examines the impact and tells how Cuba and Haiti could also feel the brunt of the storm.
Jamaica declared a disaster area after Hurricane Melissa struck with 185 miles per hour winds, which tore roofs of buildings, uprooted trees, and caused widespread structural failure. Heavy rainfall also led to severe flash flooding and landslides. Some regions were impacted with as much as 30 inches of rain. Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness told CNN the largest impact would have been the southwestern district of the island, with damage to hospitals, residential property, housing and commercial property, and road infrastructure. He said the recovery process will begin to the eastern end of the island immediately, with the restoration of electricity and communications. Hurricane Melissa remained a strong Category 4 storm as it moves toward eastern Cuba, with landfall in the early morning hours. Eastern Cuba is bracing for catastrophic flooding, devastating winds, and life-threatening storm surge. Mass evacuation also took place there, with over 735,000 people evacuated from Cuba's eastern provinces. As Hurricane Melissa moves toward eastern Cuba, it poses a significant threat to Haiti as well. Even without a direct landfall, Haiti is at risk of extreme rainfall. The National Hurricane Center is predicting 6 to 12 inches of rain in southern Haiti, with isolated amounts up to 40 inches in some areas. For the ZNS Network, I'm Betty Thompson-Moss.
Now, as feared, the brunt of Tropical Storm Melissa has hit Jamaica, leaving widespread damage in its wake. The storm came ashore in western Jamaica before noon, knocking out power to many and flooding roads, bridges, and waterways. Roofs, including that of a hospital, were ripped away in the strong winds. International reports indicate that 3 people died before Melissa's arrival, and conditions remain too dangerous for full assessments as flooding risk persists. ZNS News spoke with State Minister in Jamaica's Office of the Prime Minister, Senator Akafitz Henley.
So look, the capital city, Kingston, has escaped the worst. The original path of Hurricane Melissa a few days ago had indicated a direct hit on Kingston. That did not transpire. However, unfortunately for our neighboring parishes, about 50, 60 miles away in St. Elizabeth on the south coast of Jamaica, southwestern coast to be exact, the eye of the hurricane made landfall in St. Elizabeth, an area called, well, in the vicinity of Black River. And it is much devastation down there. St. Elizabeth is important to Jamaica, as are many areas, but St. Elizabeth in particular, because our economy depends heavily on tourism and agriculture. And St. Elizabeth is known as the breadbasket parish, heavily agricultural dependent in terms of the vocation and the livelihood of people who live there. So it's a significant hit for Jamaica that St. Elizabeth has been devastated. We are also hearing indications of Western Jamaica being badly hit. That includes St. James, Westmoreland, Hanover, and also sections of Trelawney. The majority of houses which have zinc ceilings have been dislodged in terms of in Western Jamaica and on the South Coast. But the residential communities, which consist of houses with concrete, they have fared fairly well. When we begin the major and quick emergency assessment tonight into tomorrow of the extent of the damage, it is not, well, I know it will be major, but we're hoping for the best in terms of what we see and the sort of response that is needed. But allow me to say to the people of the Bahamas, thank you much for your prayers, your thoughts, and I urge all citizens, all residents, all peoples in the Bahamas to not take lightly the advisory from the weather officials. Prepare, prepare, prepare. And, you know, we're hopeful that God will deliver for the people of Bahamas in the same way that we believe that He has delivered for the people of Jamaica.
Those tracking Hurricane Melissa will continue right after this.
The DRM Authority 2025 Official Hurricane Shelter List. Eleuthera, Northern District and Harbor Island. Charles Wesley Methodist Church, Lower Bogue. Mission Church of God, Upper Bogue. The Current Community Center, The Current. Haitian Baptist People Church, The Bluff. Zion Methodist Church, Current Island. New Jerusalem Church, Blackwood. Sir George Roberts Public Library, Harbor Island. Lighthouse Church of God, Harbor Island. New Alliance Church of God, Harbor Island. Eleuthera Southern District. Church of God of Prophecy, Topham Bay. Deep Creek Primary School, Deep Creek. Green Castle Primary School, Green Castle. Wims's Bight Primary School, Wims's Bight. The DRM Authority 2025 Official Hurricane Shelter List. Cat Island, St. Mark's Anglican Church, Port Howe. Zion Baptist Church, McQueens. Seaview Seventh-day Adventist Church, Wilson Bay. Holy Redeemer Catholic Church, New Bight. Mount Sinai Native Baptist Church, New Bight. Lovely Zion Baptist Church, The Bluff. St. Andrews Anglican Church, Arthurstown. San Salvador and Rum Key. Fellowship in Christ Church, Coburn Town. Curace Research Center, United Estates Settlement. Idell Jones Community Hall, Coburn Town. St. James Native Baptist Church, North Victoria Hill. St. John's Native Baptist Church, United Estates Settlement. St. Peter's Native Baptist Church, Long Bay. And Rum Key All-Age School, Rum Key. The DRM Authority 2025 Official Hurricane Shelter List. Acklands Community Center, Spring Point. Crooked Island, Church of God of Prophecy, Landrail Point, Richmond, Mosstown, and Cripple Hill residents, Cripple Hill. Landrail Point Community Center, Landrail Point. Inagua, St. Philip's Anglican Community Center, Matthew Town. Meguana, St. James Native Baptist Church, Abrams Bay. Meguana Comprehensive K School, Pirates Well. Betsy Bay Community Center, Betsy Bay.
Once again, we go to our chief meteorologist, Basil Dean, live in the Weather Center for the latest on Hurricane Melissa. Basil?
LaDawn, well, the latest coordinates will be in approximately 15 minutes from the National Hurricane Center, but based on our satellite imagery, the eye of Melissa has moved offshore of Cuba. It's right now midway between Inagua and Ragged Island and some 105 miles to the south-southwest of Long Island. Melissa continues to move towards the north and east at around 14 miles per hour. The maximum sustained winds, that is just around 100 miles per hour, making it a Category 2 hurricane as it continues to track towards the north and east. And rains associated with this already affecting much of the southeast and central parts of the country with light to intermittent rains, and this will continue right into the nighttime hours with some of those rain showers becoming heavy at times. Storm surge, also a possibility around the Crooked Island area as the core of the winds of Melissa is expected to pass either near or over Crooked Island between 5 and 8 o'clock this evening. And that could produce a storm surge up to about 6 or 8 feet in that area. Rainfall totals up to 10 inches, likely over parts of the north, over parts of the central and southeastern parts of our country. LaDawn.
Thanks a lot for that weather check, Basil. And that does it for tracking Hurricane Melissa. From all of us here at ZNS, I'm LaDawn Davis. Be safe, everyone.
DRM Authority 2025 Official Hurricane Shelter List. Andros, Central District. Bowen Sound Pentecostal Ministries, Bowen Sound. Church of God, Cargill Creek. Mount Ethel Baptist Church, Love Hill. Reverend Euthro Rogers Primary School, Deep Creek. Friendship Baptist Church, The Bluff. Cleora McKenzie Preschool, Long Bay Keys. Mount Olive Baptist Church, Smiths Hill. Burnt Rock Primary School, Burnt Rock, Mangrove Key. Mangrove Key High School, Mangrove Key. St. James.